the Far Side Tribe project gets plenty of airplay on my radio show. Just so you
Oh,
know,
that's good to know, man.
right? And
And
the I mean, I guess it's almost a silly question to ask, just because two amazing groups. But man, the thought of putting those two together, I mean, where did that even come from?
um, I don't know. I think it was just kind of a cool concept. Uh, the East Coast West Coast thing going. East Coast versus West Coast. But then I also, really like the idea of diving into some of Tribe's production, specifically like Q-Tip and Jay Dilla and all the samples that they use for those early Tribe records and some of the later ones. So I think that, you know, that was a big part of it. And then the Far Side, I can't express, how big a Far Side fan I am. So it just seemed like a good fit.
That's what's up. It was cool just to hear you to take those original samples that Tribe used, and I mean really create that same sense of when I first heard some of those Tribe joints. So just amazing work. It's just crazy how it's just it meshes so well. You know what I mean?
No, I had a lot of fun with that, chopping up those samples and using parts, maybe, trying to use parts that maybe Q-Tip didn't use on the original
Yeah.
records and extending the sample a little bit so listeners get to hear a little bit of where it came from. I think that's always important.
That's what's up. That's what's up. I should probably go ahead and do a proper introduction to, as we're doing this. So all the listeners out there, it's another episode of Klyph Notes with your guy DJ Klyph. You can catch it on all your favorite podcast catchers, whether that be iTunes or Stitcher or the DJ Klyph website. And remember, you can catch me every Saturday night on X-Ray FM from Portland, Oregon. Just so thrilled to have an opportunity to chop it up with this producer, DJ, artist that I've been a fan of. And if y'all listen to the radio show, then you've heard some of his. You've heard a lot of his production on Welcome to the Neighborhood. But let me ask you to go ahead and introduce yourself, man.
My name is Amerigo Gazaway. I'm a DJ, producer, remix artist, MC. Originally from Nashville, Tennessee. Right now I'm in Berkeley, California. And happy to be here.
That's what's up, man. So did you relocate to Berkeley? Because I know that you were like in my files, man. I have all of your stuff labeled under my Southern artists because I know you was residing in Nashville.
Oh, word. Yeah, I'm Cali bound for the moment. Nashville will always be home base for me, but yeah, I just came out here. My girl's out here, and I'm also working on some different projects. And
that's what's up. That's what's up. Well, Cali's a little bit closer to Oregon than Nashville, man. So it'd be dope to see if we can get you to slide up this way.
Yeah, I want to put together a little West Coast tour maybe later this year. Do some dates, start up there and work my way back down.
That's what's up. That's what's up. See if we can put that together. You have a lot of material out there for folk to check out on the website, on the Bandcamp. Of the projects that you've done, do you have a favorite at this point? I mean, you've got so much material out there.
Yeah, I really like The Trill Is Gone, man. BB and the Underground Kings.
Yeah, no doubt.
That's like my love letter to Southern rap and blues and Southern culture, and so that's kind of like where I came from. So that record is really special to me.
That's what's up. And when people go through and read articles or listen to interviews that you've done, I've seen where you've been sort of titled as an artist who does really good at mashups. Do you view what you do as a mashup? I mean, because to me it really feels like you can almost feel the love that you have for a couple different genres of music, and by putting them together, you're potentially maybe introducing different generations to different music.
Yeah, I try to steer clear of the word mashup and use the word conceptual collaboration for now, but it's really just hip hop, what I do, like, I don't know how else to describe it, like that's what hip hop was in the beginning. It was a mashup of different sounds and sound bites and breaks and samples from all over the place. And so that's just kind of how I labeled it in my mind when I'm doing it. It's just, this is the essence of hip hop right here, just taking two things that aren't supposed to go together and putting them together and to create something new. And so, yeah,
That's what's
guess
up.
we'll stick with that.
That's what's up. Historically or biographically, you come from a musical family, and you're obviously continuing that tradition. But can you share a little bit of how you got started in doing what you're doing now in terms of being a DJ? Someone who is who I think is doing a great job of kind of carrying that torch of a hip hop artist.
Yeah, I mean, my parents, my dad is a jazz musician, jazz trumpet player, and my mom is from Brazil, and she plays guitar and sings. And so I was definitely grew up around music and records and instruments and samplers, and so it was always kind of around. And then another big influence for me was playing video games when I was really young. And so a lot of the soundtracks and the music in these video games would inspire me to go create my own melodies and stuff. And then I got a copy of this one game. It was called MTV Music Generator. It was for PlayStation 1, I think. And so that was kind of like my first introduction to actually making music. It was like a little video game where you could make beats and program samples and stuff. And so I started toying with that. And that eventually led to, me working at a computer shop and getting interested in computers, building my own computer, downloading software like Fruity Loops and Acid Pro. And then I got a set of turntables, started sampling, started collecting records, and then it just kind of grew from there. I started writing rhymes. I mean, you know how it goes.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Wait, drug, and but it actually, it's interesting because it led me back. It's like it started. It started with video games, and then that led me to hip hop, and then hip hop led me to discover, all these old samples, all these old records and artists that I've come to love, like Fela Kuti and all the different Brazilian artists and stuff. So yeah, I just feel like hip hop is a great, it's a great tool for anyone to learn about music in general, not just hip hop. You can learn about so much other different types of music through the lens of hip hop. And so I'm thankful for that.
Yeah, I mean, and again, that's one of the things that I really love about the music that you put out there. Because, as I mentioned, I feel like with the projects that you put together, I think you do, again, just create an opportunity for artists or for listeners, for consumers to maybe introduce to an artist that they haven't heard before, by putting together Underground Kings and BB King, the Yasin Bey and Marvin Gaye project, which again is just another project that sounds like, as I'm sure you desired when you put it together, it sounds like it was recorded that way. Like that's when they were in the studio together. So I think that's so cool that again, you have the potential with what you're doing to expand that the musical tastes of so many folks. So again, as a consumer as well as a curator, I just got to say thank you for doing it that way, B.
I appreciate it, man. And I just want to show people that music is timeless and that it connects, through time and space, that different artists and styles and genres are all interconnected, and it's just really fascinating.
No doubt, no doubt. As you're working on projects, how much are you reaching out to the artists that you're that you're desiring to put together that way? I mean, did you have contact with I always want to call him Mos Def, but did you have any contact with Yasin Bey in putting that project together, or being in the South, with UGK putting that project together?
Yeah, I always try to reach out to the artists, if I can, or if they're still around, I try to reach out. And I think we tried to get Yasin Bey a copy of of the project before it came out, but then I was able to send Bun B a copy of it. I think the day it came out, and he enjoyed it. You know, he replied back and said that he dug it. So that felt really good. And you know, Far Side was really appreciative of the project, the Bizarre Tribe project. After it came out, you know, I ended up performing with them and doing a remix. Still Got Love remix with them. So that was a really cool opportunity. And so, yeah, a lot of the artists have come out in support of the projects. But usually, you know, the record labels or the people who own the publishing rights and the masters are the ones who tend to get upset about, you know, me releasing these free projects online. So,
yeah. Another thing that I got to make sure I take time to show my gratitude to you for is I love to be able to capture these projects. And as a radio DJ, I don't have to worry about edits because you always make radio edits available. So thank you for that as well, my man.
Yeah. People they ask me all the time for that. And it's something I started doing just because I'm a DJ too. I have to play these tracks out live. And sometimes, you know, it's in a restaurant, it's in a nice place where I can't really have, you know, cuss words or so you know how it is. But yeah, I try to do the edits. And lately, you know, I've been trying to come up with more creative ways to do the clean edits, you know, like with the Make Love to My Car on the Trill Is Gone project. You know, I use the car horns and like different car sound effects instead of, you know, the real word.
Right. Right.
And so, yeah, that, you know, that's been really interesting for me, you know, trying to figure out creative ways to make it part of the music, you know, and so it's not like, it doesn't feel like the music is incomplete. Listening to the clean edits, you know, it still feels like it flows. So.
Exactly. Speaking of flows and then being a DJ, you know, when you're listening to the UGK BB King project, it does have the way that it's mixed is really audibly aesthetically pleasing. Does being a DJ give move towards that as you're actually creating a complete project, thinking about if you were out playing that you want that project to feel that way just as a mix?
Yeah, I think I think being a DJ plays into a little bit of it, but I also feel like I try to turn the DJ mode off too sometimes when I'm producing, because I don't want to let that influence too much how I produce the music, you know, because a lot of the times when I'm DJing, I want it to be more upbeat or I want it to be more party friendly. And when I'm producing an album, I try to let go of some of that. You know, I want to have, you know, calm, cool moments on the album. I want it to slow down. I want it to be like a roller coaster and have different moods and atmospheres. And so, but then, you know, blending the tracks together, you know, I usually like to do some kind of, provide some kind of history or some context, you know, through documentary sound bites or, you know, maybe samples of the artist talking or live performances and stuff like that to make it kind of feel like you're there and feel like these artists are actually collaborating together.
Yeah.
And then, you know, key also I try to be aware of that, but also try to turn that part of my brain off sometimes too, you know, because I'm always trying to mesh tracks that are in the same key or the same tempo. And then when you're creating an album, I feel like you need to step away from that DJ mindset a little bit. You know, you need to, like I said, have valleys and peaks. And so yeah, it's interesting.
No doubt. One of the other projects that makes me think of the James Brown and the Soulmates project. Is that the title of it? Listening through that, some of the things that you grab to share with the listener, the piece when James Brown brought Michael Jackson up on stage, you added that into that project, which was super cool. Because I remember when I first saw that video when he brought Mike up, and then later on he brought Prince up, and I was at my 9 to 5, just saying, "Yo, this project and da 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 da," and like nobody, like there's a lot of people who don't even know that story, know that happened, that collaboration happened. So creatively, I think you do so many cool things like that to material that's out there, but you're presenting it to people in a way that they can actually find it. Maybe they didn't even know it was, it was there. So
Yeah, that's cool.
is that something that you look for when you're making a project, or is it just pieces of material that you found that you've enjoyed that you just add in?
A little bit of both. I do a lot of research, but also, I'm constantly taking notes just throughout my everyday life of cool bits of sound bites and stuff that I might want to use in a future project. My brother, Ricky Minlin, he's always sending me ideas and sound bites and interview clips and stuff to use and tagging stuff, that could maybe be used in a project. And, sometimes just finding that one little interview piece or something from a clip could be the inspiration for a whole project in itself, so like with The Trill Is Gone, I heard an interview piece with BB King on NPR, and they were talking about, how he gets the trill sound in his guitar. He makes a twangy kind of trill. He does this little trill with his hands, and it got me thinking, the trill is gone. And so little things like that can spark an entire, journey, musical journey.
So dope, man. So now is your that project is out, and we continue to share it as curators and yourself as a DJ with the listening audience. Are there other sort of thoughts and ideas that are floating around in your head right now? Or you're thinking, all right, this might be the next project. This might be, the next offering that I give to folk.
Yeah, I'm actually working on one right now, and I think the single for it should be out in several weeks. So
that's what's up. That's what's
up. I've got several different Soulmates projects in the works, but this one is almost near completion, and I'm really happy with it. I've been working on it for about a year now, so it's like I think it's going to be good.
That's what's up, man. Amerigo Gazaway. The Soulmates projects are all so amazing. But then, like I said, I was listening to the project that you just released, Don't Shoot. There's obviously a lot of passion and I mean, in my words, I would say social awareness and context in what you offer to the world. Do you think it's difficult to balance speaking on the things that we're dealing with and being entertaining as well, or does that come natural for you? Because sometimes I think when people offer projects, it can sometimes feel a bit forced, and that doesn't. I don't necessarily find that in the music that you put out.
Yeah, it's definitely a balance. You don't want it to feel like you're pushing your ideas on anyone, or forcing people to listen to something they don't want to listen to. And so making it enjoyable is definitely a key part of what I do. With the mashup, with the Soulmates projects, I try to make those projects enjoyable to someone who has no idea who these artists are. Like, obviously, if you know who De La Soul and Fela Kuti are, then you're going to enjoy it 10 times more, because you're going to get all the references and you're going to get all, you're going to understand what I did more and more. But I also, I try to step back and make the projects enjoyable and listenable to someone's mom or someone's grandma who's never heard of these artists before. And it can just be playing in the background and it's still groovy, and it's like, and so it's definitely a tricky balance to try to do that. But it's something I'm aware of and something I'm conscious of. But also, I feel like it does come naturally to an extent. And then, with my rap stuff, I try to dig a little bit deeper and speak out a little bit more. So
yeah, it's interesting. I feel like for artists right now, in the times in which we're living, it actually can create a great it can create a lot of great content to create a lot of great music, because I think oftentimes when you look back on some of the great music, some of the timeless music, that music was brought forth out of some pretty difficult and challenging times, again, looking at Don't Shoot, I sort of feel that way. I sort of feel like the content that you present in that song is really, it really speaks to the times in which we're living. And I, again, when I look back on a lot of great music, that seems to have been the case. I don't know if you've thought of it that way before.
Yeah, I mean, I was, anytime I'm really inspired, it's because of, some tough times or something that's going on. I think I wrote that song like literally the night after I had been harassed by the police, and this is in the South, and I'm half Brazilian. I'm not, 100%. I'm white. I'm mixed, so they still search me just like they still pat me down just like anyone else, and they still search my car, and they harass me, and so I wrote that song immediately afterwards. And so with like I said, with the rap stuff, I try to not think about it from a DJ aspect or worrying about entertaining people anymore. I really try to just speak what I'm thinking and what I'm feeling, because it's with that, it's more a therapy for me, to get that off my chest than anything, and if people want to listen to it, that's even better, that's a bonus. But really that song and songs like that, like the Trayvon Martin song that I did, or some of the other songs that I've done, are really just me, getting something off of my chest and onto paper. And I think once you do that, you articulate it so much better than, you could have if you were just trying to write or explain it to somebody. I don't know. I feel like that song explains how I feel about it better than I could explain it.
That's what's up. Yeah. Yeah.
Just in words and talking.
No doubt. No doubt. I mean, and again, it's a great song in and of itself. Just audibly, it's pleasing to the ear. But it also has that other element where every time you listen to it, you may catch something that you didn't catch, the first listen through. So I dig it. It's definitely going into rotation on my radio show. So know that.
Awesome. Okay.
So aside from the production that we've talked about, we mentioned that you DJ. So you're out spinning. Are you spinning a lot right now down in Cali?
I just moved here like about a month or so ago, so I'm still getting set up, and I just got my turntables out of storage, and I'm about to get my studio set back up again over here. But last year I was spinning a lot of the Motown Monday gigs that they do out here. I was spinning with those guys a lot, and my homegirl Ziamara, who was out here, she's a really talented vocalist, singer. Played a show with her pretty recently, and we got some stuff cooking up in the works. So yeah, I'm hoping to get back on the road here soon.
Because you and Ziamara just released a single. Was it last year? A remix that you did?
A remix, yeah, of the single from her album 719. You Don't Know Jack. So I did a remix of that, and so yeah, we performed that live a couple weeks ago.
That's what's up, man. The best way for folk to sort of stay up on what you're doing as you're continuing to get settled in and then growing into new music for 2017 would be what? Website? Just straight to the Amerigo Gazaway website.
Yeah, just AmerigoMusic.com. That's like my headquarters. And then I'm obviously on Facebook, Twitter, SoundCloud, all of that. And then there's also the Soulmates website too, but you can just go to Amerigo Music and find everything. So
yeah, it is set up nice, man. When you go to the main website, you have a link that'll take you directly to the music, but then other content there as well. Bruh, once again, I'm a fan of yours as an artist and producer, so I always enjoy just listening to the music that you make, and then paying it forward and sharing it with my listening audience. So it's really a thrill and an honor for me to have you take a couple minutes to just chop it up like this, bro. I can't tell you how much I appreciate that.
Yeah, man, it's been a pleasure. Thank you.
Absolutely, bro. As you get closer to being ready to share the new art with the world, bro. I will definitely be looking forward to to connecting again, maybe, and helping get the word out. I'm excited to hear what you got cooking. So um,
Awesome.
I'm anticipating. I'm anticipating what's coming.
Awesome, man. Well, yeah, we'll keep you updated.
That's what's up. That's what's up. Just a little, a quick. I had to share this with y'all, man. This is just a little quick treat, a little taste of one of the artists that I really dig, Amerigo Gazaway, here on the Klyph Notes podcast. Remember, you can stream it all over your favorite podcast catchers, and stay tuned for some new content, and we're all going to be up on what he's got coming. Also, stay tuned to X-Ray FM. Welcome to the neighborhood. So you can keep hearing more. Y'all can get sick of me playing this stuff now, because now I'm gonna be playing it it's gonna be 2 hours nothing but Amerigo Gazaway music. So, so bro, once again, man, thank you so much for jumping on. I truly appreciate it.
Yeah, I appreciate it, man. Have a good one.
All right, you too. Thanks.